Hello, my name is Lee, and this is my speech on sexual harassment and sexual assault in the military. With, with sexual harassment and sexual assault in the military, it seems like it is a problem that will have no end. The Department of Defense released statistics showing that the number of cases reported for sexual harassment and sexual assault through the military have gone down through the years, but they're still gradually increasing, just at a slower rate. Why do you think that is? With all the money and time that the military has put into sexual harassment and sexual assault, you would think that the number of cases will either become stagnant or non-existent. The major problem is the training that the organization are using are outdated to the point that people are getting training do not care. If the training is changed into something a little more interactive, then the message will be absorbed and reciprocated a whole lot easier. The problem with making any changes will be a lot of people receiving the training as just check the block training would fight back, saying, why are we trying to recreate the wheel? Why are we trying to fix something that's not broken? There are so many people who are just set in their ways, so you'll have to fight against them when it comes to any changes. A big problem that a lot of people that are receiving the training are they just zone out. A lot of times they sit in a classroom in these chairs that are really uncomfortable for hours, listening to someone they don't know talk about sexual harassment and sexual assault to them over PowerPoint for several hours, and they just sit there and look and they're like, who is this guy? Who does he think he's even talking to? So they kind of just zone them out and do their own thing. Then another problem would be the person who's actually giving the training. A lot of times they come from higher up, and they're just told to give the training. And even the people from higher up are just doing it. It's like, look, it's check the block, just give the class. So the person comes down with a PowerPoint slide and videos, they go over to class, they do their thing, check the block, and then they go back and get some praise from their higher ups for doing a good job. Do they even care that the message that they were trying to push out was even absorbed at all? So what are some things that you think we could do to change this? I know from experience that people tend to listen when they know the person that is speaking to them, or when the speaker is more interactive or projects themselves more positively. Stanford EDU describes that an effective teacher will facilitate and guide training. Instead of reading about case studies and watching videos, give the people in there a script that they can start acting out. After they're done acting out, ask them to share their experience after they read the script and had to relive that moment in that person's shoes. This would engage the person more on a one-on-one level, and the people receiving the training would absorb it a lot easier because they know the person that's up there and they can see them act it out versus looking at a PowerPoint presentation or a video of people they don't know. In an article published by Army.mil, written by Joyce M. Conant, it tells a story about how the Army is trying a new virtual reality system with sexual harassment and sexual assault. Each soldier sits behind a computer system and they go through the virtual reality system in a first person who is actually getting sexually harassed and sexually assaulted, and then also lets them go through as a third person and be a person who actually witnessed something and make them go through the steps on how to actually report it. This training is more one-on-one and is up to the individual to complete instead of sitting in a large classroom, which is really good because you don't have to put a lot of manpower into this, and you don't lose a lot of people in a group setting. Plus, the person who's sitting behind a computer is doing it one-on-one, and they can just concentrate on that instead of their friends sitting to the left and the right-hand side. By getting the people more involved and more excited during training, then the message will be retained a lot more effectively. With people being aware of what to look for, then the message about sexual harassment and sexual assault will spread like wildfire. They can start by a person being exciting and sharing their experience about the training, They can bring up follow-on questions that can make the person share even more. They can express what they need. They can express what they need to look for by acting it out. By changing the program into something more engaging and exciting, it may not be the answer to sexual harassment and sexual assault, but it will make people more aware of the problem and give them the mental tools to fight back. Thank you.